Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Hope you guys are doing well. So today we will discuss some important aspects of word Englishes. So first of all, some questions are being raised that is English a unit or is English the only language which we spoke in this world, or it has some types. English has some multi types. The second question is that what is the difference between the word English and word Englishes? Number third, that on which basis we categorize word English into word Englishes. Why English have some types which are now naming as word Englishes. And the last question is that what are the effects of colonization on word Englishes. So let's start. First of all, what is World English? So, World English refers to the English language as a lingua franca used in business, trade, diplomacy, and other spheres of global activity. So, World English is a general term referring to the English as spoken throughout all five continents. The reference is usually to that core of language which is common to all varieties of English. The word English as a singular and which contains no specific features of any one variety. The amount of English is frequently that used by non-natives as a lingua franca when they are communicating with each other. Now, World English versus World Englishes. So, World Englishes refer to the different varieties of English and English based creoles developed in different regions of the world. The use in the plural World Englishes has gained the currency in recent years and refers to international not native forms of English which are not bound to the varieties or the traditional dialects of English. So World Englishes refers to the difference in English language that emerge as it is used in various contexts across the world. Scholars of World Englishes identify the varieties of English used in different sociolinguistic contexts, analyzing their history, background, functions, and influences. Languages develop to fulfill the needs of the societies that use them because society contains a diverse range of social needs and because these needs can differ across the English language exist. These include American English, British English, Australian English, Canadian English, Indian English, Pakistani English, and so on. So these were some examples of the Englishes, like Pakistani Englishes, and all the Englishes are the examples of world Englishes. Now the origin of world Englishes. So although many different varieties of different of English have been spoken for several centuries, it is only surprising recently that one field of the study that has become known as World Englishes has been established. A key figure in a field is kachru. His debate with the British draw the boundaries between two distinct positions. So, first, the Quakes in 1985 position was that a single standardized form of English based on English British English should be the model for all non-native learners of English. But Kachru in 1985 took the opposite view and argued that there were many varieties of English, all of which were linguistically equal in his 1985 paper. Kachru classified Englishes using now famous three circles model, and these circles were known as concentric circles. He called them the inner, outer, and expanding circle. Now, the three circles. First, the inner circle. The inner circle countries were those in which English was traditionally the first language of the majority of the speakers. For example, Great Britain, United States, and Australia. It means that the inner circle is comprised of com- of those countries who are considered the traditional basis of English, such as I already given the examples like UK, USA, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, etc. So English in these countries are classified as a first language, and kachru's label the inner countries as norm, providing the norms of the English language and produced there. So this was the inner circle. Now the outer circle are those countries where who where English played an official or institutional role and were typically post colonial nations like Nigeria, Kenya, India, Singapore, etc. So it means that the outer circle is compressed of countries where English is not spoken natively but is still maintained as an important language for communication. For example, as an official second language or as the nation's official language for business and commerce. So, largely due to the historical reasons, these countries include Pakistan, Malaysia, Kenya, South Africa, and Canada, and so on. So, Kachus labels these countries as norm developing, which means the norms produced by the inner circle are further developed and reproduced in the outer circle. Now, the expanding circle, which will be our main topic today. So, expanding circle, it is well as the outest to stress that Curtius never intended his circle's classification to be hard and fast in 1985. He wrote that the outer and expanding circles cannot be viewed as clearly demarcated from each other. They have several shared characteristics. In simple words, I'll explain to you guys that the expanding circle includes much of the rest of the world's population. Countries they do not hold historical or governmental importance towards English, but class it as foreign language or lingua franca. Main examples of such countries include most of Europe, China, Russia, Japan, Korea, Egypt, and Indonesia. These countries are labeled by Kachus as norm dependent, which means they are fully dependent on the norms originally produced by the native speakers of the inner circle. They generally do not develop or reproduce Englishes. So, English for modernization and internationalization has now seen English become a compulsory subject in the primary school of curriculums as well. Furthermore, the, the extraordinary increase in the number of multilinguals who speak English as an additional language, not only within their own countries but also internationally, raising interesting questions about the ownership of English and which English should be adopted as the classroom model or the standard. It has traditionally been assumed that the native speaker of a language naturally makes the most appropriate teacher of it. The expanding circle countries were those in which English was generally used as a foreign language, simply which played no institutional or official role within the country. And here as well, the countries' names are given. Some other developments I'll also uh, s- discuss with you guys that some other developments in the expanding circle in the same way that new varieties of English and literature in English have developed in India and Africa. So following dynamic model have new varieties of English and literature developed in the post-colonial countries Southern Asia. including Malaysia and Philippines and Singapore, etc. In this section, however, the role of English countries of East and Southern Asia, where kachru classified as being in the expanding circle, will be considered. It is as well the outset to stress that kachru never intended his circles as their classification. Now, the effect of colonization, just like the post colonial Englishes, which will be given as an example. So, in attempting to come up with a theoretical framework for the development of post colonial Englishes, here are some arguments which are given and some stages which are given in the post colonial Englishes which play an important role in the world Englishes, just like the aspects of exonormative, nativization, and endonormative stages. These were the stages which play important roles in the colonialization. So, these were the different stages in which the politically dominant mother country are involved, the conservative speakers are involved, and the new varieties which were starts to become codified and accepted socially. These stages were involved. So we need to know that English, that we can depend our interest, and when we use English we don't think about the United States or England. We only think about that we need to communicate. So colonization has a great impact on the word Englishes. Now, what is the importance of word Englishes according to the Kachru's model? So, Kachru's three circle model described above may appear similar to the classification which were given that time in the differences. So, first, Kachru's model allows the existence of many varieties of English, and second, it argues that they all are equally valid for their own contexts. These the system and the classification were suggested early, and when the Kachus described the model, so these system and that classification was already present in the Kachus model. So these were inherently superior to other varieties. It means that the strength of the English language is in presenting the the Americanness and its American variety, and the Englishness and its British variety. Let us therefore appreciate and encourage in its important. So the third word varieties of English too. The individuality of the word varieties such as the mm, Pakistaniness of its Pakistan variety. So it is contributing to the linguistic mosaic which the speakers of the English language have created in the English speaking world. So this was the importance that everyone was having their own English, so they will have some confidence over their own language if we take it as a positive aspect in the importance of world Englishes. So this was all about the features of world Englishes. Thank you.